So, what if you could just stop worrying about English grammar, like for good, and instead actually feel confident when you write? Well, that's exactly the promise behind a really cool idea called TypoGrammar. It's all about a mental shift, a totally new way of looking at mistakes.
I mean, let's be real. Why does English grammar feel so incredibly complicated? You know that feeling, right? You're staring at a super important email, your finger is hovering over the send button, and suddenly you're second-guessing every single comma, every word choice. It's a huge frustration, and trust me, if you've felt that, you are so not alone.
Yeah, it's this shared feeling, almost like we're all lost in this massive sea of grammar rules. And just when you think you've got a rule down, there's a whole ocean of exceptions waiting for you. It creates this constant nagging anxiety that you're just about to mess up. It can be totally paralyzing. But what if there was a completely different way to think about all this?
Okay, so let's start with a diagnosis. We're going to deconstruct this whole problem, and we'll use a new philosophy, a new term to do it. Let's talk about TypoGrammar.
So what is TypoGrammar? At its heart, it's a philosophy that asks you to stop seeing grammar mistakes as some kind of judgment on your intelligence. Instead, think of them as just typos, small, isolated errors. They're not these huge, catastrophic failures. Just like a spelling typo, you can find them and you can fix them. It's a simple idea, but honestly, it's a really powerful mental shift.
And this really shows you the tale of two approaches, doesn't it? The old way, well, it's all about fear. It's about trying to memorize this endless rulebook and just being terrified of making a mistake. The TypoGrammar way is so much smarter. It's strategic. It's about focusing only on the high-impact errors, the ones that actually cause confusion. The goal isn't this abstract, impossible perfection. It's just clear communication.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? What's the method? Well, the secret isn't about memorizing yet another book of rules. It's all about adopting a smart mindset.
This whole smart mindset really comes down to three big shifts. First up, embrace imperfection. Look, the goal here is to communicate, right? Not to write a flawless academic paper, so let go of that pressure. Second, focus on impact. Forget about those super obscure comma rules that nobody remembers. Instead, prioritize fixing the stuff that actually makes your writing confusing. And third, and this is a big one, learn actively. Every single mistake you make isn't a failure. It's a data point. It's literally a little signpost telling you exactly what you need to work on next.
I really love this quote. It just makes the whole thing feel so much more doable, right? It's not about waking up tomorrow as a grammar expert. It's about making just one small intentional fix, and then another one, and another. That's how you build real momentum.
So, all of this brings us to the outcome. What's the payoff? What does this path to real confidence actually look like when you put it into practice?
Well, your transformation journey happens in these really clear stages. It all starts with Stage 1, awareness. You just start noticing your common typos. Then, you move to Stage 2, understanding. This is where you learn the why behind the correction. After that, Stage 3 is all about practice, actively using what you've learned. And that leads you to the final stage, Stage 4, confidence. This is where correct grammar starts to feel intuitive, almost effortless. It's not magic, it's just a process you can follow.
And this is the whole point. This is the ultimate reward. Clarity, precision, confidence. Your writing becomes clear, your meaning becomes precise, and you, as a writer, finally feel that genuine confidence. These three words, that's the whole shebang.
All right, so we've gone through the diagnosis, the method, and the outcome. So now let's talk about your next chapter. How do you make all of this real for you?
So let's just boil this all down to the key takeaways. First, reframe those grammar errors as manageable typos. They're not a big deal. Second, adopt that smart mindset. Focus on communication, not perfection. Third, remember that confidence is built through a clear, step-by-step process. And finally, your whole journey starts with simple awareness and then active practice.
And that really brings us to our final question for you. Just let this one sink in for a second. It doesn't have to be some massive, life-altering change. Maybe it's finally getting a handle on when to use its versus its. Or maybe it's something else. So what is that one tiny grammar habit you could decide to change starting today?